Welcome, everyone. This is Heather Burkhart with Her Wellbeing, Ayurveda, and Yoga. Today, I am going to tell you all about the full moon astrology with the full moon that's happening tonight. First, I'll begin by talking about the new versus full moon. The lunar cycle begins with a new moon, and this is a time when the physical and emotional body can feel depleted. This is an introspective time for self-care practices to fill or refill your well. The new moon is associated with menstruation. The full moon is the apex of the lunar cycle when the energy of the moon is at its peak. This is a celebration of the divine feminine and life in general. The full moon is associated with ovulation. The full moon, it's a magical time. The moon's energy is at its peak, and I hope that you are getting a sense of that. This can be a time full of intensity, intense emotions, passion, vitality. Energy is high. So, because of that, this is a great time to connect with your feelings, connect with your intuition. This is a great time to express yourself, dance, sing, create, spend some time with your favorite creative endeavors. Maybe it's just cooking a really fabulous meal for yourself or your family. And it's a wonderful time to celebrate divine femininity in all things, in all living beings, in all of the earth. Celebrate abundant life. And it's a good time to take a full moon bath, to meditate, and to go on a walk, especially at night. If you can view the moon tonight, that would be even better. A few notes about tonight's moon. It is a super moon and a partial eclipse. A supermoon is when the moon does appear larger than usual, and this is because it is a little closer than usual. There's also a partial eclipse happening tonight. This is when the Earth lands between the sun and the moon, but there's not a perfect alignment, and so the Earth casts a partial shadow over part of the moon's surface. Most of North America will have a chance to see it, so you might go for a walk tonight and see if you can. September's moon is a harvest moon, full moon. This namesake comes from the proximity to the autumn equinox. This marks the beginning of the fall, and when farmers are gathering their crops, it is harvest time, a wonderful, abundant time. The autumnal equinox will happen on September 22nd this year, and this marks the transition from the warmer to the cooler season when the weather changes and the days shorten. There will be nearly equal hours, day and night. So this is a big transition, and most of us are probably feeling the effects already. In Vedic astrology, the fall equinox is seen as a time to seek balance, harmony, and fairness as the sun enters the sign of Libra. This is a good time to set intentions for the upcoming season and focus on the goals that you want to achieve that support this theme. So, the theme of Libra is balance, harmony, justice, equanimity. Tonight's full moon highlights the zodiac sign, Pisces. Pisces is a mutable water sign that means that it is adaptable, flexible, changeable. It is ruled by the giant Jupiter, our great big expansive planet that is all about growing and learning and also spirituality, our spiritual nature, and where we are on our spiritual journey. Jupiter is a Kapha planet, and Kapha is ruled by the water and earth elements. It's associated with the Svadhisthana chakra. This is the second chakra that is ruled by the water element. It is also our place of emotions and intuition. It's also aligned with the sixth chakra, Ajna, the third eye chakra, which rules our inner seeing, our inner knowing, our inner teacher or guru. So both of these chakras are highlighted with this full moon. This is a highly emotive, sensitive, and spiritual time. Due to the nature of Pisces, it can be very changeable. It can keep you guessing. You might not know if you are coming or going, and that's not always a bad thing. In terms of Pisces' strength, of which there are many, they are selfless people, forgiving people. They are also spiritual with sometimes psychic abilities, very imaginative. They are truth seekers. They seek the truth. And because of that, they can also be daydreamers. Now, that's one of their strengths, being a daydreamer. But because of that, it can also be a weakness because they tend to have their heads in the clouds. This can cause them to be absent-minded. And they may even, instead of seeking the truth, they may run away from things like their problems. And they may not be as aware of what's going on with their physical body because they're in their minds so much. They also love to indulge their senses, and so they can be addiction prone. Now, there are plenty of opportunities with this full moon for Pisceans, but also for anyone, especially if Jupiter plays a strong role in your birth chart. How can you find unity between two disparate parts of yourself, of your life, of anything? Are there two opposing forces that are tugging at you? And if so, can you find common ground? And how can you stay grounded in all this as you tap into your intuition and psychic abilities? We'll talk more about that during our visualization and journaling later. I'll give you just a few journal prompts so that you can think and chew on those ideas a little bit more. There are some vulnerabilities with this full moon for Pisceans especially, but for anyone with a strong Jupiter. Take caution with relying on external sources to feed your imaginative mind, to feed your imagination that may put you too far out there. Try to keep your feet on the ground and tuned into reality. Try not to get lost in your mind and forget about your body. Pisces rules a few different, very important elements of the cosmic body and the human body. These are literal, but also figurative or symbolic as well. Starting with the feet. This is a good time to pay attention to and care for your feet because they take you places. They fuel your mobility. And so it's very important to care for them and to also make sure that they stay planted on terra firma. They stay connected with the ground. And we'll talk more about how we can care for our feet later. Also, bodily fluids are ruled by Pisces, which of course is the water element in the body. Anything that is flowing in the body, lymph, blood, and other fluids ruled by this water element. So this is a good time to boost circulation. And you can do that with yoga. And it's also a good time to detoxify, to help remove impurities from the water element in us, from our lymph, from the blood. And we can do that with herbal teas. And we'll talk more about that in a little while. You'll also want to spend some attention on your immune system and the endocrine system, specifically the pineal gland, which is associated with the third eye. You'll want to bolster immunity with immune boosting foods, herbs, and regular routines that keep you grounded and healthy. And especially bedtime self-care practices that support a good night's rest. This is really, really important in the fall when we are surrounded with such changeability. Using stability and consistency to ground the body and the mind can act like an anchor and protect us against stress, against disease, against losing sleep, which is vital at this time. In terms of yoga, there's so many fun things to do here, but in particular, again, we'll focus on stimulating circulation and stimulating the lymphatic system in order to move the bodily fluids and guide toxins out of the body. And it's a wonderful time to engage with the feet, to open the energy points or marma points on the feet. Much like reflexology, Ayurveda understands that the energy points on the feet relate to the many, many countless energy points all throughout the body mind system. So just by working with the feet, you can balance and nourish the whole body mind system. And we'll work on connecting with the third eye chakra to connect with intuition and foster mental clarity, and to nourish the second chakra as well to support the water element and the emotions. In terms of yoga postures, if you would like to see the yoga video that is on the blog page for full moon practices, you'll see that we work a lot with our ankles, our feet, and our toes. We use different postures like child's pose and downward facing dog to stretch out the feet. We do some balance poses like big toe pose, also some yoga squats to really get deep into that second chakra and also access all those lymph nodes that are in that area and all throughout the body as well. Now, in Vedic yoga, we also include mudra, mantra, pranayam, meditation. These practices are just as important as the yoga postures. So, what I like to tell my students is when you practice at home, do half and half, half yoga postures and half everything else. These more subtle practices like mudra and mantra and pranayam and meditation. Um, for Pisces, we work specifically with the Hakini mudra. This is associated with the third eye. It assists with mental clarity and intuition, overall balance in the mind. And then the pranayam is Nadi Shodhana. And I do demonstrate both of these in the video. Nadi Shodhana is a purifying yogic breathing practice that opens the channel of prana. So prana is its own system in Vedic uh, anatomy and physiology. It is the system that circulates energy, or prana, which is the vital life force. And then there is also the mantra of Om that we work with when we work with the three seed sounds of Om to support the third eye chakra, ajna chakra as well. So these are all really fun components to add to your yoga practice. And I hope that you find this yoga flow to be balancing for this Pisces full moon. So give it a try. Look for that video on my blog page. And now I'd like to guide you with a little bit of visualization and some journal prompts. Those are totally optional. You can certainly just sit back, relax, and listen. But first, I'll invite you to find a comfortable shape wherever you are. Whatever you're doing, just take a moment to pause. And we'll create a mindful moment by checking in with our body. Tune in to your breathing. Observe the flow of your own breath while it flows naturally, just as it wants to. Take a few moments to breathe and simply observe how you are right now. If you want, you can take a deep breath in and a cleansing breath out. That's an open mouth exhalation to sigh the breath away. You might do that once or twice more just to settle in a little deeper and let go of tension or stress or whatever excess motions are tugging on you. I want you to think about the symbol of Pisces, the two fish swimming in opposite directions. I want you to consider, what are you moving towards and what are you moving away from? I'll say that again. What are you moving towards and what are you moving away from? Knowing that there's no judgment there and there's no value of good, bad, right, or wrong on any of this, just to simply observe, what are you moving towards and what are you moving away from? And then maybe these are two opposing forces that are tugging you in opposite directions. And if so, maybe you can find somewhere in the middle to meet. So think for a moment and visualize, if you can, if there's a common ground. And maybe you might even imagine yourself holding one side and the other with your hands, and you're in the middle. And notice what that feels like to, in essence, hold it all together. You're in the middle. You are the common ground. So just visualize yourself there, looking for integration, looking for unity between these two opposite sides. And then checking in with your gut instinct. What does your gut instinct have to say right now? What does your heart or your body tell you? Take a moment to listen in. Set aside the chattering of the mind, like, this is silly. Why am I doing this? I could be doing something else. Set that aside. Set aside the ego. Ego speaks very loudly. Set that aside for a moment and just listen in quietly. What do you hear? What is your body or your intuition or heart telling you? And if there is an outcome that is needed, there's a solution that's needed, visualize the outcome without knowing the solution, without knowing the particular steps that you need to take. Just visualize the outcome. Be there now. Feel what that's like. Look around and see, what is it that you see? What is it that you feel? So be in that moment now. We're using this Piscean energy to visualize, to look into the future, and to be there now with your feet connected on the earth. We'll take a few more moments to wrap that up. Maybe you'd like to close with a deep breath in and out, in through the nose, out of the mouth, sigh that whole thing away, whatever it was. Let it go. Stepping into herbal medicine for this Pisces full moon. When I think of the immune system, I think of ways or herbs that would be helpful to boost the immune system. Turmeric comes to mind because it naturally fights inflammation, which is critical for maintaining good health. And it also detoxifies the blood and the liver. And it also feeds the gut where a lot of our immune cells hang out. So I really see turmeric as a very helpful herb, especially during this fall transition. Sleep aids as well, because as sleep can become disturbed or changed during the fall, ashwagandha is a good companion herb for this time. It's a very well-known adaptogen. This means that it helps to reduce stress. It is a tonic for the whole nervous system and brain, and it also promotes deep sleep because of its very heavy nature. It has a lot of earth element, and because of that, it shouldn't be taken on its own. It needs to be taken with some digestive spices like ginger, cinnamon, cardamom, to help digest that heavy nature. And then also, I think of caffeine alternatives for our Piscean brains who love to drink coffee for that mind buzz. Green tea can be a healthier choice. This is a smaller dose of caffeine. It'll still give you a little boost, but it's much healthier in that it's rich in antioxidants and it's rich in this really green plant energy. And it as well can be combined with digestive spices and milk for a more nourishing brew, if you will. And I do have a few herbal tonics that I want to feature here. This is a great season to reintroduce warm herbal tonics into your self-care practices. Turmeric milk, these are all from Banyan Botanicals, who I trust completely. I've used for myself and my family for years and years. So turmeric milk is how you can make golden milk with turmeric, of course, but it also has ashwagandha root, which I love. And it also has those digestive spices in it. So these are drink mixes. So I'm a big proponent of drinking your herbs. One, you get a smaller dose, which is all you need from day to day. And then it has the digestive spices in it as well, which make them taste delicious. And then we have ashwagandha latte as well, and that's my current favorite. And it has not only ashwagandha, but other nervous system tonics like mucuna and shatavari. Shatavari is a well-known anti-inflammatory. Burdock root is also an anti-inflammatory. It's detoxifying, but it's also very nourishing. So it has these nourishing roots and nervous system boosters, which I love. And so this is something you might take towards the end of the day um, that helps you start to wind down. So this might be like your after dinner drink or settling into your bedtime routine drink. I really love it. Bitter and bold is something I haven't tried yet, but I make this, I've featured recipes like this on my blog before where you're using roasted dandelion root, chicory root, and carob to create a coffee alternative that won't bog you down and won't overstimulate the mind. It also has carob in it for that chocolatey note. And then it has the digestive spices to help to assimilate everything, and also the shatavari root as well that acts as a nourishing herb. So these are all great ideas if you want inspiration to get into some kind of self-care practice towards the end of the day that helps you to wind down and settle in for a good night's rest. Bitter and bold, obviously, you can have at any time during the day, but you might like that at the beginning of your day, or if you have a cup of coffee in the morning, you might follow that up with the bitter and bold brew later on in the day. So we're keeping our caffeine intake to about 1 cup a day. Generally, that's best for the fall season just because of the sleep issues. Caffeine can aggravate that. A few resources that I'd like to share with you that are available on my website, on the blog, any of those blog posts that feature the full and the new moon self-care practices. I do offer birth chart readings if you're interested in learning your Ayurvedic constitution and any doshic imbalances that you have based on your birth chart. So we take a look at, I generate your chart and we look at the planetary relationships in your chart, which ones are the strongest, which ones may be weakened. And this is all based on your time of birth, your place of birth, and where you were born. So those are all 3 pieces of information that you'll have to offer if you would like to book that service with me. And then for free, I have a moon calendar and journal that you can download from the blog page. And these are pages and pages of resources to support your lunar self-care lifestyle. It'll help you track full and new moons. It'll help you track the different self-care rituals, know about all the different retrogrades that may happen throughout the year, learn about the different zodiac signs and seasons based on Vedic astrology, which is a little different. And it has a lot of workbook pages, like journal pages, intention setting, self-care worksheets, so on and so forth. So hop on over to the blog and make sure that you download that for yourself. And then if you're looking to join an online community of women, I do host the In Her Balance community online. This is a network of women who are using inspiration from Ayurveda and yoga to transform and support their menstrual and reproductive health with using these self-care practices, plus much, much more. And that comes with lots of practitioner support and peer connection along the way. You can find more information about that on my website as well. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. I am passionate about self-care practices that bolster women's reproductive health and overall well-being. I'm here to help you learn that self-care can be fun. It can be enlivening, and it is a wonderful way to connect with yourself and with others. And so in a time where self-care has become kind of a 4-letter word, I'm trying to breathe some life into it, especially through relating it to astrology, which is a wonderful way to refresh our self-care rituals based on astrology every month. I leverage the holistic approach of Ayurveda and yoga to help women just like you tap into their intuition and true self to see their unique path unfolding before you. This is the soul's journey, as it's known in Vedic astrology. Welcome. I'm a certified Ayurvedic practitioner and experienced yoga teacher, and you can find more resources at my website, herwellbeing.com. You're welcome to get in touch. You can reach out by email if you'd like at hello@herwellbeing.com or visit my website, herwellbeing.com, for more resources. more videos, more training, more community and connection for those who want to bolster their health with this art of self care that taps into you, the true you, and that taps into this divine and creative energy that we all have access to. Thank you so much for listening. I wish you a wonderful full moon. I hope you take some time to enjoy it however way you want to. I'll see you next time. This is Heather Burkhart with Her Wellbeing, Ayurveda, and Yoga. Take care.